Officers investigate. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
A state bill that would ban the word recyclable on products that are not normally reused is waiting for Governor Newsom's signature. Senator Ben Allen wrote the bill. He says plastic products that don't have a 1 or 2 in the recycle logo are made with materials that make them hard to reuse.
It's the plastic film that covers packages or newspapers. In fact, most types of packaging like bubble wrap and film are not recyclable either, and in fact, they actually end up gumming up the system.
Allen says he expects the governor to support the measure. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has signed a $2 billion bill to boost border security in his state. As Abbott signed the bill, he said Texas is stepping up and doing what the federal government is supposed to do. The bill will fund state troopers and National Guards to police the border along with a potential fence. Over 10,000 migrants are waiting under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas, waiting to be processed by Border Patrol agents. It may be hard to find toys for the holidays. President and CEO of the Toys Association, Steve Paserb, says staffing shortages have become a global problem.
Retailers are scrambling. They're looking for new suppliers who can actually deliver. Major retailers are bringing in a lot more of their own brand name stuff of their own store.
He says people should shop now for the holidays because stock may be limited later. Got some trouble in Pasadena on the 210.
That's westbound at Lake Avenue. It's a stalled car stuck in the carpool lane, so it's a busy ride from Madre Street. El Monte on the 10 westbound just before Peck Road. There's a stalled car stuck in the left lane there, causing some stop-and-go traffic from Cox as well. And some good news in Echo Park on the 101 southbound at Benson Way. An earlier wreck in the right lane. It's been moved over to the right shoulder. You'll see traffic recovering from Gower Street. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno.
If you like today, you'll like tomorrow too, I'll tell you now.
Every day is like any other day until it isn't. Getting hurt in an accident can change your life instantly, and the low offer from the insurance company won't be enough. That's why you call Sweet James Accident Attorneys. To them, justice means getting the medical care and money you deserve. So if you're ever hurt in an accident, tell the insurance company that you mean business and that you hired Sweet James. Call 800-500-5200 or sweetjames.com.
Southbound weather from KFI. Areas of low clouds mainly near the beaches overnight, lows in the 50s and 60s. Then sunny again tomorrow. Highs about the same as today. 60s to about 70 at the beaches. Mid-70s to about 80 for Metro LA and Inland OC. 70s to mid-80s in the valleys. Low to upper 80s for the Inland Empire. Then warming up a bit as we head through next week. And highs in the 60s and 70s at the coast. 70s and 80s for the metro areas. 80s to mid-90s for the valleys and Inland Empire. It's 76 in Anaheim. 65 Redondo Beach. 75 in West Covina, 81 in Rancho Cucamonga. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Amy King.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey, Neil.
Did I wake you?
No, I forgot to turn my mic on.
Yeah.
I'm new here.
No.
Can you try again? Oh, no. What was that?
No, that's COVID. I'm fine.
Off the rails already. I like it.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey, Neil.
What do polar bears eat for lunch?
Tuna?
Yeah, we're going to be like totally correct, but for the joke's sake, icebergers.
Oh, well. Tuna?
Teach you how to eat. Let me teach you how to eat. How to make the teach you how to eat. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on that there iHeartRadio app. Hey everybody, support. Woo, yay! All things food, beverage, and beyond. I'm your well-fed host, Neil Saavedra. How does you do? Hey everybody, guess what today is? National Cheeseburger Day. Yay! Woo! Woo! Cheeseburgers. Or as they say in Texas, Morgan, breakfast.
Woo! Yay!
Oh yeah. The more animals you can get on that thing, we got a chicken, we got a cow, well, we got a pig with bacon.
So, today is National Cheeseburger Day for Technique of the Week, the way we start out every single fork report in these here parts. We'll talk about burgers, making the perfect burger. I know it may seem silly to some, but I will tell you, I get asked how to make a perfect burger more than anything else, I think. So, let's get right into it. As far as the meat goes, you want ground chuck or ground sirloin. You want it to be a good fatty beef. You want to look at the label or ask your butcher for 80-20. That's 80% lean, 20% fat. The number one issue when people tell me that their burgers don't taste like burgers that they get when they go out is that you're trying to have a low-fat burger. Don't. It's not a burger. If you're going to eat a burger, eat a burger. That's 80% lean, 20% fat. Now, as far as the cut, like I said, ground chuck, ground sirloin, a combination of those are pretty much the standard. They're a great meaty meat. It seems strange to say, I realize, but it should taste like meat. And there are certain cuts that just are a little meatier. So that's a great standard. However, there are wonderful butcher mixes or blends that will have things like brisket in there, or they'll have short ribs. Those are really two flavorful, wonderful meats that go well in with ground chuck or ground sirloin and mixing those things up. When you start getting too fancy, I've had people go, I'm making, a filet mignon burger. Filet mignon is tasty because it's a lean cut for one, and you barely cook it. You don't cook it very much, so that you just get the tenderness of the meat and the flavor, and that's it. It's not a good burger meat. I have seen it mixed with other things, and if you're grinding yourself and you're adding fat to it, great, but that's an expensive cut that is unnecessary. You're better going off with cheaper cuts like brisket and the like, and adding those things in. You won't necessarily get the greatness of a cut like filet or the tenderloin into a burger. I've seen it done, and there are, for fun here or there, I've seen people do great blends that are fantastic, but really, if you're going to be slinging a lot of these things, don't go nuts with those cuts, because what you're doing is you're grinding it up for a purpose. Another thing people ask me all the time is how come it's not good to have ground beef, like a beef patty in a burger, undercooked, like you can a steak. So a steak you can have rare, you can have medium rare, you could have medium, but it's not preferred if you're buying from just any old grocer. If you're buying from a reputable butcher shop, and we love the butchery here, there in Orange County. We love the corner butcher shop in LA County, there in Laverne, that they can do the grind for you, or they're doing fresh grinds. They know what they're doing, they know what's going in, they know what's coming out. But sometimes if you've got multiple scraps and different things like that from a grocer, you don't have the control over the meat in the same way. So that's why restaurants, they'll do it at certain temperatures. They know what they're doing, and they also warn you. So why is it different than a steak? When you grab a steak, the bacteria is growing on the outside more than it's growing on the inside. Now, that's different when you're getting poultry or you're getting pork, which bacteria grows differently in the beef, the majority of that bacteria is going to be on the outside. So when you cook, when you're grilling or roast, whatever you're doing with that meat, you're killing the bacteria on the outside, especially when you go to sear it. I sear at the end. I do a reverse sear. So my searing is at the end, not at the beginning of the cook. When you do that, it's killing the majority of the bacteria. So you can go at much lower temperatures. when you have ground beef, imagine this. You're grinding it and taking the outside and mixing it with the inside as it grinds. Now there's bacteria throughout the meat. That's why it's different when you're dealing with a burger, a ground meat, versus a steak. And that's why there's a little difference. And that's why you get the warning for a hamburger when you're cooking it medium or medium rare or something like that, that you don't get with a steak. So that is something to think about to understand why there's a difference there and why you want to make sure your burgers, per the government and their concerns, that you are supposed to grill them to well done, which is 165 in the middle. That's too much for me, and so I like to, I control the meat the way I can. I ground my own beef here so that I control not only the mix, but the amount of fat, the flavor, and all those things. It's up to you. I don't grill unless someone requests it from me. I do not grill to well done. That's me, but it always is a gamble depending on where you get your meat from. When we come back, we'll talk about the different thicknesses of the patties, the different kinds of patties, making the patty, what kind of grill, the controversy of whether you should flip it more than once, all of those things when we come back. It is National Cheeseburger Day, so here on the Fork Report, our technique of the week, burgers. And I'll tell you a couple of really cool gadgets you can get to really get the most out of your cheese if you're making cheeseburgers. So go nowhere.
Ooh.
It is the Fork Report. Did you just say ooh?
Yeah, in a good way, though. Like a
yeah.
cheeseburgers and gadgets all together. That's
Right.
the trifecta of cool.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you one that is really good because you can use it on all kinds of things like nachos and all kinds of stuff. It is the Fork Report. I'm Neil Spadra, KFI AM 640. Let's get the latest news now with AK.
LA County has reported its first death from West Nile virus this season. People get the virus through the bite of an infected mosquito. It's only fatal in rare cases. 10 West Nile cases have been documented by the county's health department so far this year. Police in Long Beach say an arrest has been made in Iowa in the shooting deaths of a man and woman in Long Beach on September 4th that may have been tied to road rage. Police say they got an assist from U.S. Marshals in making the arrest. SpaceX's first all-civilian flight crew is expected to return to Earth this afternoon after 2 days in orbit. The Dragon capsule has a target splashdown time of 7:06 Eastern off the coast of Florida. We'll check what's slowing you down on the 210 next.
This is my business. I started it, and my hard work made it successful. We survived the last year, and things are starting to look better, but now hard work alone isn't enough. I need cash to hire some people and buy supplies. Loan Me Business is for people like you. We can loan your business from $6,000 up to $250,000. And we understand that you don't need the cash soon, you need it now. And if your credit isn't perfect, that's okay. Apply today and you could have the money in your account tomorrow. Loan Me Business loans have longer terms, keeping your monthly payments low and manageable. You can even pay the loan off early to control your costs with no prepayment penalties. That sounds great. Simply go to loanmebiz.com to get started. That's loanmebiz.com or call 844-3-LOAN-ME.
Not all applicants will qualify. Approval and terms subject to credit standards. See loanme.com for details. Loans made pursuant to California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation Law License 603K061.
That's 844-3-LOAN-ME or loanmebiz.com.
Areas of low clouds overnight. Sunny after the burn-off tomorrow. Highs near 70 at the beaches, 70 to upper 80s inland. This report brought to you by CBS. Still cleared in Pasadena on the 210.
That's westbound at Lake Avenue. It was blocking the carpool lane. It's off the freeway now. You'll see traffic slowly recovering from Huntington Drive. In Hawthorne on the 405 northbound at Rosecrans, there's a crash blocking the two middle lanes there, causing some delays from Hawthorne Boulevard. And in Ontario on the 10 westbound, a work zone there, in between the 15 and Milliken Avenue, has the 3 right lanes closed off until 5 a.m. Monday, causing heavy traffic right now from Cherry Avenue. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno.
Come into CVS and get a free flu shot. Plus, get a $5 off $20 shopping pass.
CVS, America's choice for vaccinations. No cost flu shots with most insurance. Restrictions apply. Visit CVS.com for details. This report is sponsored by Panera. Panera believes in saying yes to the good things. Yes to mac and cheese. Yes to topping it with cheesy Parmesan crisps. And yes to putting it all on a sandwich. The new grilled mac and cheese sandwich. Get $1 delivery when you order on the app. Panera, live your yes. Restrictions apply.
Someone uses your toilet and it overflows. Can you imagine how embarrassing that is for your guests and for you? Hello, I'm John Okoyan, owner of Rooter Hero Plumbing. You're hosting a party, the water is on the floor, and your guests have to tell you that the toilet is backed up. And worst of all, you have to tell your guests that they can't use the bathroom. I shudder when I tell this story because it happened to me. Can you imagine? I own Rooter Hero Plumbing and my toilet overflowed. Talk about being humbled. Well, the truth is, it could happen to anyone. And the solution is to call 866-DRAIN-77. That's what I did, and our plumber was here within the hour. Not because I'm the owner, but that's just what we do. I'm so confident that you'll be satisfied with our services that I put my cell phone number on every business card. 866-DRAIN-77. That's 866-DRAIN-77.
Yeah, 102-8886.
Some people treat investing like a game, but Marcus by Goldman Sachs approaches investing in a smart way with digitally managed portfolios that leverage Goldman Sachs strategies. So, do you want to play games or do you want your money to work smart? You can money. Visit Marcus.com to learn more about saving, borrowing, and investing from Marcus by Goldman Sachs.
Investing involves risk and investments may lose value. Brokerage and investment advisory services by Goldman Sachs and Company, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. Lending and deposits products provided by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, member FDIC.
Get your daily dose of California with the Times daily news from the LA Times. Join your host, LA Times journalist Gustavo Arellano, as he unpacks our world with a West Coast perspective. Listen and subscribe today at latimes.com/the Times or wherever you get your podcasts. Running a business comes with pressure. Remote workforces, HR compliance, retaining top talent. You start to feel boxed in. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30-plus years of HR service and technology to work, offering my employees competitive benefit options while lightening my HR load. Instead of obstacles, I'm surrounded by people empowered to be their best. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
I want to break free.
Ready to break free? Make your dream vacation a reality with Norwegian Cruise Line and sail to the Caribbean, Europe, and more. With our leading health and safety program, you can cruise with the ultimate freedom and confidence. Book today and enjoy 30% off all cruises, free open bar, and much more. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Offer ends soon. Norwegian Cruise Line. Sail safe, feel free. Ships registry to Bahamas and USA. Restrictions apply.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
And AMCO offers payment plan options for almost any credit situation, so it's easier than ever to fix it fast and pay it off slow.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
Spectrum Business called their competitors to see if any of them could beat Spectrum's Business Internet Plus phone offer for $69.98 per month with no added phone taxes or fees. Here are real quotes from the competition.
How are they pulling in no fees and taxes? That's madness.
I would 100% go with Spectrum.
Even the competition recommends Spectrum Business. Call 855-339-5344 and switch to Spectrum Business today.
Competitor quotes from actual phone conversations. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Contractor license 1047-781.
Dad taught me to do things the right way, not the easy way. You got any brothers and sisters? 8 sisters, 7 of which are older than me. Did they teach you anything? They taught me that people matter a lot. I'm talking to Ken Goodrich, owner of Gettle Air Conditioning and Plumbing. The day I started my business, my first job was for a 90-year-old man whose air conditioner broke down on the hottest day of the year. And he didn't have any money to pay me. That's awkward. He was really embarrassed. So when he asked if I could take an old cello as payment, I told him I always wanted to learn to play the cello. The what? The cello. It's like a giant violin. You talking about the thing standing in the corner of your office? Yeah. I didn't know you could play that. I can't.
Then why'd you take it? I took it because he would probably have died if I hadn't fixed his air conditioner. I took it because people matter. I like working here, Kenny. I like working here too, Zach. Get 'em. Goettl. Will keep you cool, but it's hard to spell.
9/11, 2 decades later, is a limited series podcast that looks back 20 years since the attacks of 9/11 and features those who were in the inner sanctum of our country's government.
You felt like the end of the world, to be honest with you.
And we ask the question, are we safer today than 20 years ago?
I don't think so. I wish I could answer differently, but I don't think so. I think those in charge these days need to spend more time communicating.
Listen to 9/11, 2 decades later on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
24-hour news. More stimulating talk.
EverydayKids.com is proud to sponsor Sesame Street. EverydayKids.com, a place parents can go to learn more about their child's accident.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk, of course, you can hear us everywhere on that there iHeartRadio app. Hey everybody, it's the Fork Report. Hello, we talk about food. My name is Neil Saavedra. Let's be friends. Let's be food friends. Excellent. It is also a lovely Saturday out there. Thanks for hanging out. We've got these 3 hours to kind of shake off the heaviness of the week, anything you may be going through, and talk about things that we love, like food. We'll get back to Technique of the Week, talking burgers. Today is National Burger Day. We've got a couple giveaways coming up today. LA Wine Fest coming up on October 2nd and 3rd. We'll give out some for October 3rd coming up in a little bit. They're $100 a pop. So giving away a pair, there's the one, that's $200. Right? That's what I'm talking about. More than I make doing this show. Do trade for tickets. So that's going to be coming up in a little bit. Also, we'll get into, LA County requiring proof of vaccination. We're going to take calls too. Next hour, I want you to be thinking of your favorite burger joints in the Southland, because I want to give them shout outs via you and your precious little self. We'll open the phones in the 3 o'clock hour for that. So tell friends, family, and beyond. Get that list together of places you love in the Southland, and we're going to give them tons of love, because we want you to shop and eat local as we continue to crawl out of all this pandemic, all this craziness that we're dealing with. All right, so we'll get into that a little bit later. It's a full show is what I'm saying. Back to Technique of the Week. Burgers, for something so simple, it's just like sandwiches. Sandwiches have few ingredients most of the time, but ratios and the quality of the ingredients and all of those things have even greater impact because of that. My friend and yours, Shannon Farron, who worked at a deli, told me, and I had not heard this, and I love this, that I think it was garlic, powder or garlic salt, just a little bit on the veggies, like your tomatoes and things like that. Makes it pop. I was always taught to put a little salt and pepper on them, maybe a little bit of oil. And so those little tips can change the expression of a sandwich. Those little things will change a burger, aka a sandwich, similarly. So we talked about the patty, 20/80 lean to, or fat to lean, and that's going to keep them from getting dry. One of the concerns is when you're grilling, these complicate everything. I'm pausing for Morgan and Amy to respond.
Oh, like we'd ever say anything.
Right.
God.
I love men.
Me too.
Good one, Neil.
No, I was just concerned that you pluralized that. Okay, so when it comes to the patty, guys, especially when it comes to cooking and grilling, it's like, I do this technique, and I do that technique, and I do... Listen, they all have a place. Simplify things when you can. And I'll hear arguments over flipping. Never flip your burger. The key one is don't smash your burger. Now, what I mean by that is while it's cooking. If you're using a flat top and you're doing a smash burger, then yes, you put a round ball of usually between 2 and 4 ounces, depending on what kind of burger you're doing and patty you want, and then you press it down while it's sizzling. It gets caramelized and gets that wonderful flavor because of that sear, totally different. What I'm saying is when you're on a grated grill and you've got a thick patty on there, pub style, gourmet style, 6-8 ounces on there, a big patty, and as it's on there, you're squishing it. Two things are going to happen. You're going to release the juices and the fat, which is what, keeps it from getting dry.
And make it taste really good?
Yes, gives it all the flavor that you want out of it. But 2, you'll get flare-ups. And all that grease goes into the flame, it'll flare up, and you're going to get a sooty, dry burger. Okay. How's that sound?
Neil.
Yes?
If you don't smush it, then you get that big, nasty bubble in the middle.
That is not true, Amy, if you prepare your patty correctly.
Ah.
Let's take this on the road, Amy. We got this down. Who's on first? Okay, so you want to put either a thumb divot in there, meaning you roll your thumb in the center and you'll put a divot, and that way you won't get the football shape as the burger, which, I'm sorry, is a protein, which is flesh, is going to constrict and it's going to ball up in the center. So give you that. Some people even put ice cubes, press ice cubes in there. I think that's unnecessary, although it can control the inner temperature, which will give you a plus and make it cooler in the center, therefore make it less cooked in the center. I just push a divot in with my thumb if I'm going to do fat burgers. Now, as far as being able to turn them over, you can flip them over as much as you want. They've done study after study after study. That is not going to cause any problems. So it doesn't release juices. It doesn't cause problems in cooking. You can flip it over as many times as you want. The old thought of you only flip a burger once, not necessary. All right, I'm going to extend this segment a little longer because there is a lot, believe it or not, to get to when you're talking about cooking burgers. And I want to get to those cheese gadgets still, so go nowhere. It is the Fork Report. I'm Neil Spader at KFI Am 640. Let's get the latest news now with Amy King in the KFI Newsroom.
Two of Governor Newsom's kids have tested positive for COVID-19. The governor, his wife, and his other 2 children have all tested negative. The governor says he and the family are quarantining and will follow all health guidelines. A former Trader Joe's employee has sued his former company, claiming he was fired after asking for a religious exemption from the COVID-19 vaccine. Greg Crawford's lawsuit says the company allowed the exemption, but then told him he was fired over his adversarial perspective in his treatment of the issue. At the time, he was a manager at the Rancho Cucamonga store and had worked for Trader Joe's for more than 25 years. Dr. Anthony Fauci says rapper Nicki Minaj should stop making false statements about the vaccine. He says tweets from Minaj about the vaccine causing impotency doesn't help the vaccine push, especially in the black community.
That's kind of a something that attracts people's attention, so therefore it spreads more on the social media, whereas a cold, correct fact doesn't have that oomph to it.
President Biden has said Facebook was killing people by allowing misinformation on its platform. Police and FBI agents have begun searching a nature preserve in Florida, looking for the fiancé of Gabby Petito, who never returned home from a cross-country trip with her fiancé. Brian Laundrie returned home, but now he's been reported missing.
We don't have a crime. We're looking for somebody, and that's it. I mean, we can't go just pulling people in. He certainly has the Fifth Amendment not to speak, and we're respectful of that. We get it. We're frustrated.
North Point Police spokesperson Josh Taylor says Brian Laundrie is a person of interest in Petito's disappearance. Only a few hundred people turned out for a protest over the way protesters have been treated following the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Organizer Matt Brainerd said Capitol writer Jacob Chauncey, the so-called QAnon shaman, has been treated unfairly.
What he did that day, and if anybody did anything similar, does not deserve 9 months in solitary confinement. Without conviction. No conviction, 9 months in prison.
There was a huge police presence at the rally, and a 7-foot steel fence was put up around the Capitol. and the Supreme Court. Got a stall in downtown LA on the 10.
That's eastbound at Grand Avenue. It's in the right lane, so it's slowing you down from about the 110. If you're in Hawthorne on the 405 northbound at Rosecrans Avenue, there's still a crash in the two middle lanes there. CHP is on scene trying to get it out of the way. It's still a pretty slow crawl from Redondo Beach Boulevard. And some good news in Long Beach on the 405 southbound at Bellflower Boulevard. An earlier stalled car has been moved out of the right lane off the freeway now. Traffic is recovering from Lakewood Boulevard. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno.
Work, right? You want to come home to a house you're proud of, or if you're working from home, you want to be proud of the place that you spend so much time. You're busting your hump. My wife and I have done a lot of remodeling over the past year and a half, 2 years. Primarily because we set out to do it, we had made plans to do it, and we decided the heck with, what we don't know, we're moving forward. French doors and stunning kitchen windows from American Vision Windows brought some of the most dramatic and beautiful changes to our home. You've heard Bill and Kathleen's story over and over. It's a great one. Such a horrible experience they had when they set out to get windows for their place 20 years ago. They just said, there's a better way. They started their own company, American Vision Windows. You fast forward 20 years, they're still bringing warmth, light, and beauty to homes like mine, my family, my friends, every single day. CSLB number 778-326. I recommend them all the time to people. Trust the window company that I trust, that does beautiful work and that I'm proud to show people. American Vision Windows. Give them a call. Get your free estimate today. 888-226-9908. That's 888-226-9908. Or for all their great monthly specials, visit AmericanVisionWindows.com.
Southland weather from KFI. Areas of low clouds and fog overnight. Lows in the 50s and 60s. Sunny after the burn-off tomorrow. Highs in the 60s to near 70 at the beaches. 70s to about 80 for Metro LA and Inland OC. Mid-70s to upper 80s for the valleys and Inland Empire. Then we'll warm back up into the 80s and 90s for inland areas next week. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Amy King.
Iron! Lift that cast iron! You're doing good!
Hey, hon. Sweetie.
Yeah, hon.
I need to make dinner. I need a pan.
You can't always do home workouts how you want, but now you can sip if you want. Heineken 00. It tastes great, only has 69 calories, and absolutely zero alcohol.
But here, lift these. 2 Heineken 00.
Oh, yes. One of us drink.
Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy responsibly. We're recruiting for a clinical trial for a possible treatment to help those infected by COVID-19. If you're 18 or over and have tested positive for COVID-19 during the past 5 days, you may be eligible to participate. There's a clinical trial located nearby, and participation is voluntary. You may stop at any time. Participants will receive study-related care at no cost.